Alright everyone, welcome back to another video on Kaiju number 8 the game. And today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Clozer Akari Minase. So right off rip, I'm just going to say really quick that she is a amazing character. Top tier character, I would say, SS tier or maybe even God tier character. Without dupes on the weapon or dupes on her kit, obviously dupes would help, but she is a top tier character regardless of those things. So we're going to be taking a look at the best skills for her, the best Uniparts, best weapons, kind of, and I'll explain why in a minute. And we're going to be taking a look at the best dupes for her, if you guys want to summon for dupes. So, before we get started on the build guide here, if you're new to the channel and you like watching Kaiju number 8 content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And also, quick disclaimer, I do not have the character yet personally, so this will only be a build guide, not a build guide and a showcase. So, first off, we're going to be talking about Uniparts. So for Uniparts, you definitely want to be running Wyvern B, Ant type, or the new Unipart set, Paravis type A. Those are the really only options you should go with because those are all support sets and all sets that supply the character with HP, which is really important because she is an HP scaler. In the trial battle, they have her with the Ant set. I'm not sure if I entirely agree with that. I personally think the Wyvern type B set or the Paravis type A set is better for her, just because they kind of offer more. Obviously, with the Ant type set, you do get that old gauge charge rate, but with the Wyvern B set, of course, you get the damage del, and then you get that ultimate gauge at the beginning of the battle, which is also really important. And then with the Paravis type A set, you get more damage and extra crit rate, which is not really that important because her crit rate is already really high. So in my opinion, the best set for her is probably the Wyvern B set, then Ant set, and then Paravis set. So when it comes to what you want to run on the arm piece, you definitely want to be running HP. Even though she can attack and she does decent damage, since she's an HP scaler, you definitely want to run HP on the arm piece. For the chest piece, you definitely want to run Healing Multiplier. She is a healer, and obviously running Healing Multiplier will be able to give her more recovery to all allies. And then for the foot piece, you could run Slash, Shot, or Speed, since she is a Slash and Shot character. But again, because she is not a damage dealer, predominantly she is more of a healer. She's kind of a mix between both, but Speed is always going to be your best bet, just because the faster the characters are, the more actions they get, and the more damage they can do throughout the battle. But if you don't get speed, obviously slash and shot damage is going to be your next best bet. So, when it comes to skills, there is quite a lot on her. Obviously, her passive skills here, this unit's extra attack and overflow crit rate, attack crit rate plus 100%. So she's basically going to be critting on everything. So running a crit rate set or a crit rate piece on her is absolutely unnecessary. And then for her second passive skill here, after activating combat skill, randomly removes one of the target's debuffs. And then if this unit's max HP is at 6,300 or more, this unit's overflow attack damage multiplier plus 150%. So, yeah, you definitely want to have an HP sounder, like I said, and Wyvern B or Paravis. Like I said, I think Wyvern B is definitely going to be your best bet. And then for skills here, we have her ST attack, which does 55% of this unit's attack to a single kaiju. It is an ST attack, of course, and her combat skill does not do any damage at all. It is a pure recovery skill, and it recovers a single ally's and the adjacent ally's HP to 5.5 of this unit's max HP plus 38. So that means she can only heal up to 3 allies at a time, not 4. So you can pick any 3 allies. You can pick her and somebody else and the person next to them. Ideally, you want to have her in the second or the third slot so you have more flexibility. But either way, it really doesn't matter. And then for her ultimate, it is an AoE attack. And this attacks crit rate plus 100. So again, she's going to be critting on everything. And it deals shot damage equal to 186% of this unit's attack to all kaiju. After attacking, applies 2 stacks of patrol to the unit. And then with her passive skill, we get to find out that at the start of the battle, applies surveillance to all allies, calls forth Rotilla, Rotilla has a fixed speed of 115. That is the bird. And by the way, the bird does get its own turns on the action order, so it's kind of like its own character alongside Akari, kind of like Minabako. And then Surveillance. After attacking, if the attacker's remaining HP is 50% or less, recovers the attacker's HP equal to 10% of their max HP after Rotilla's turn arrives, activates Overflow Attack. Overflow Attack does slash damage equal to 55% of this unit's attack to a single kaiju and the adjacent kaiju. After an ally in surveillance state attacks, if the unit is not incapacitated, applies 1 stack of patrol to the unit, max 8 stacks. When patrol is at max stacks, consumes all patrol and activates Extra Attack. Extra Attack. Before attacking, applies crit damage plus 33%, 3 turns for follow-up skill, Extra Attack, and Overflow Attack to all allies. So, just that alone makes her an extremely good character to pair alongside Suited, Minabako, and Great Sword Kikaru, and we'll talk about the best allies in a minute. And the second part of the passive here is deals shot damage equal to 55% of this unit's attack to a single kaiju and the adjacent kaiju. So wow, there is a lot of stuff going on in that passive. So basically, she is a defender, and she heals, and she does damage, and overall a very good character. These are all the skills at level 1, these are all the skills at level 12, just in case you guys wanted to see what that looks like. And so basically, she's, in my opinion, maybe a slightly better version of Christmas Kikaru, but obviously, I would have to test her to really see that. But based off of her kit, she's a very strong character. She has lots of different skills and abilities in there. Recovery, extra attack damage. She also has attacking with Rotilla, so extra attacks, overflow attacks. Just a really solid character. And when it comes to dupes, if you want to summon for dupes, the first dupe here, if an ally other than this unit becomes incapacitated, recovers the target's HP equal to 30% of max HP and revives them. Can be activated 1 time per battle. After activating Overflow Attack, applies defense penetration rate, 20%, 2 turns to all allies. So, this is a pretty strong dupe. However, my biggest beef with this dupe right here is this dupe is actually a skill that is usually on all healer characters and defender characters. This revival of an ally when it becomes incapacitated. And I kind of wish this was in her kit. I kind of feel like it's kind of cheated they kept it behind a dupe here. On Christmas Kikaru, it's a part of her kit. I believe on Isa, it's on her kit. I mean, his kit. And then even for 4-star Akari Minase, it's in her dupes. But again, you should be able to max dupe a 4-star character. So, I don't know how I feel about that. Obviously, this is a really strong dupe. And then the defense penetration rate is pretty good as well. Which is hilarious because the other character that we just got in the Pico Gacha was Weapons number 2 Kikaru, and she is a defense penetration rate character, which is interesting. So, dupe 2. Patrol max stat count -1. After activating combat skill, applies damage dealt 30% 2 turns to the target. This is a really strong dupe as well. I feel like if you're going to be summoning for the first dupe, you might as well go for the second if you have the gems for it. But I'll give you my thoughts on that in a second. And then the third dupe is, of course, just skill levels. Fourth dupe, damage dealt plus 30%, crit damage plus 60%, and healing multiplier plus 30%. This is an insane dupe. Obviously, I'm not too fond of the damage dealt. However, that crit damage dealt of 60% and the healing multiplier plus 30 is actually huge. That is very, very, very nice. And of course, that fifth dupe is just going to be skill levels. And then the sixth dupe, the crit damage buff that applies before activating extra attack will stack up to 2 stacks. After activating ultimate, applies crit damage 50%, 3 turns to this unit. So, in my opinion, if you're going to be summoning for dupes, the first dupe is pretty much mandatory if you want to have the ability to revive an ally. If someone dies during the battle, like a classic character like one of the Hoshinas or Kaiju number 8. Again, I don't know how I really feel about this being a dupe. I just feel like this should be integrated into her kit because pretty much all the other defender characters just have this in their kit. But if you want this to be an ability, I believe going for this first dupe is pretty much necessary. And then the second dupe is also really strong as well. I feel like it's actually stronger than the first dupe, not gonna lie. So I'm gonna say if you're gonna go for dupes, definitely go for the first dupe, and then go for the second dupe. And if you have a lot of gems or a lot of money to spend, that fourth dupe is also really strong as well for that healing multiplier and that crit damage. The sixth dupe is nice too, but again, unless you're a pay-to-win player, you're probably not gonna be summoning for 6 dupes. So I would say first and second dupe should be your priorities. And then for weapons, this is just the 3-star weapon, so this is not a accurate representation. Let's take a quick look at her signature weapon. So, her signature weapon is a rifle, obviously, which is really nice because we've had so many characters recently with new weapons or weapon types that really aren't in the game. And so, by her weapon being an assault rifle, you have a lot of different options to choose from if you don't get her signature weapon. And believe me, there are definitely some good options. I will probably make a second video giving you guys the best secondary weapons you can use for her because there are just so many options. 4-star options, 5-star options, you name it. There are a lot. There are very many different assault rifles in the game, as you know. So, the following effects will only activate for the character whose optimal weapon is the assault rifle, as you know. And then HP plus 34% after the equipped unit activates normal attack or extra attack, applies 7%, 2 turns to the equipped unit, max 5 stacks. That's 7% attack, of course. And then applies damage dealt plus 3%, 2 turns to all allies, max 5 stacks. This is it at max dupes. The second passives here really don't go up that much, but obviously the HP goes up quite a lot. It seems like a pretty good weapon, but I will say right off the bat, it is not a must-have at all. There are many, and I mean many secondary options that are top-tier weapons that you can use as great alternatives to this if you don't end up getting the signature weapon, or you don't even want to get the signature weapon. So that's it for the weapon. You know, it's a pretty decent weapon, but I'm definitely going to say it's not a must-summon. Chester's weapon is really good. The AR Hyperion is a great weapon, but I will be doing a full video covering all the weapons and giving you guys my thoughts on the best options you can use as replacements for the signature weapon. So that is pretty much it for the Akari Minase build guide. Unfortunately, she is limited. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, third limited character in a row. In case you guys didn't notice or you didn't know, she's limited. So I'm really not sure how I feel about that. Really quick, before we end the video here, I wanted to show you guys the special event that just dropped and just give you guys my thoughts on it and show you guys the rewards. So you have the special event here. It's kind of like the other special events we've had. Obviously, there's quests, there's story, and then there's 2 challenges as well. You can exchange items here. Now, what's crazy is in this special event, you can actually get Potential Shard 2 from this event in the shop, which is extremely nice. It's 1 Potential Shard up to 30 times. So 30 here and 20 here. So that is a total of 50 Potential Shard 2, which is awesome. You can also get the background if you want that as well. And then you get some dimensional crystals here as well. You get that 10 times, 10 times, 10 times. So that is a total of 300 dimensional crystals. You also get 2 Kaiju cores, which is really nice. I'm glad it's not just 1. You can also get some game gacha tickets. I really wish they had some of the other gacha tickets in here, but I guess these gacha tickets are good if they do a standard banner update sometime soon. You also get some stamina jellies and some other good stuff here as well, which is nice. What I'm really happy about is the Potential Shard 2, because that is really sweet, and 2 Kaiju cores. So that's what you can get from this event. And of course, for missions, there is actually a ton of missions. There is actually 5 different days for missions, which is actually insane. I'm not sure if you've actually had this before. 5 different days for missions. And you can see just on day 1, there is a boat ton. And I mean a boat ton of missions here. A boat ton of rewards. We get dimensional crystals. We get the books that can be used in the exchange shop. There is a ton of stuff here. You get some titles here. Just a ton of great rewards. And this is just day 1. So, tons of great stuff. Tons of great rewards. I will say, even though they are releasing so many characters, in a single month, I'm very happy to say that they're definitely adding more rewards to the game and more content overall, which is nice. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if it makes up for all the character releases, especially because we've had so many limited characters. I just really don't know how I feel about that, but I will say the rewards are increasing, and that's good overall. So, that pretty much wraps it up for today's video. If you enjoyed today's build guide for Clozer Akari Minase, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned for a weapons tier list, specifically an assault rifle tier list for Akari Minase, because there are lots of different weapons you can use besides her signature weapon. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Have a great day.